Hello everybody, this is Johns Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-Minute Histories videos. And today I'm down on the Falls Way downtown, across from where the farmers market's held every Sunday. And behind me is a place called Our Daily Bread. If you haven't heard of it, it provides food and health care and job opportunities to folks in need. It's run by an organization called the Associated Catholic Charities. They run this program and loads more, and they're turning 100 years old this year. We thought we would help them celebrate that milestone by doing a video, and I'm thrilled that their executive director, Bill McCarthy, is going to join me in a moment. But before I turn it over to him, let me just jump in and talk a little bit about how they got their start. And for that, we're going to turn the clock back not 100 years, but 231 years, back to 1792, when a gentleman named John Carroll was Archbishop of Baltimore. He was the first Catholic bishop in the still very new United States. And he issued a directive to his diocese, which included, if not the entire country, almost all of the country. And in it, he told parishes how to spend their money. And here's what he said. He said that 1/3 should be for the care of the pastor, 1/3 for the upkeep of the parish, and 1/3 for the relief of the poor. This directive, because it covered so much of the country, was really the founding of our own Catholic Charities here in Baltimore, but also Catholic Charities across the country. Carroll, incidentally, was a great civic leader of Catholic causes and non-Catholic causes. For example, he was one of the founding trustees of St. John's College in Annapolis and served as its president for a while. Here in Baltimore, he was a founder of the Library Company of Baltimore, the Baltimore Female Humane Association, an organization called the Maryland Society for Promoting Useful Knowledge. Not sure what that was, maybe early Wikipedia. And then the Baltimore General Dispensary, and I do know what that was. That was one of the city's first health clinics. After Carroll's declaration, parishes across the city started taking care of the poor following the declaration at a time when the city was growing and its needs were growing as well. Some of the early efforts, including the founding of St. Mary's Villa. Archbishop Ambrose Marischal did that in 1818 as a girls' orphanage. In 1840, St. Vincent's Male Orphanage was founded. Today, that's St. Vincent's Villa that provides, as a treatment center, provides treatment for folks. A little bit later, in 1866, St. Mary's Industrial School was founded. That's, of course, where Babe Ruth went to school. And a little bit later, St. Elizabeth's Home was founded specifically to help black Baltimore girls who were in need of help. Today, it's still growing strong as a school. In the early 1900s, Catholic leaders looked across the city and saw a lot of great work happening, but not a lot of coordination. And then in steps Archbishop Michael Curley in 1923, our centennial year, and he brings together a number of charities under one roof. He calls that the Bureau of Catholic Charities. It was part of a larger effort to consolidate and coordinate Catholic causes. Another one of those under Archbishop Curley was schools. He created what he called the Central Office of Education, and throughout his life, Curley was what one historian called a warrior for Catholic schools. But back to the charities, Curley appointed a priest, Father Edward Leonard, to lead the Bureau, and Leonard really focused on two areas. He created a family department that focused on food and clothing and housing, and then a children's department that focused on orphanages and the later foster care. And these really are still the bedrock of what Catholic Charities does today. And then we fast forward to 1981, and that's when Our Daily Bread opened up as a provider of hot food for folks in need. And ever since its founding, every single day it has provided meals to those who need it. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bill McCarthy, the Executive Director of Catholic Charities, to talk a little bit about what they're doing this 100th year and where they're going from here. Bill, we are all yours.
Thank you, John. So I'm Bill McCarthy, the Executive Director of Catholic Charities. Lifelong Baltimorean, and have been privileged to lead this organization for the last 15 years. As John's mentioned, Catholic Charities is celebrating our centennial. What's beautiful about Catholic Charities, it's really a movement to improve lives. What we do, and perhaps where we do it, changes over time, but the why of our work and our mission has never changed. We're committed to providing services that make our community more vibrant, more healthy, and more inclusive for all Marylanders and all people here in Baltimore. As John's mentioned, our history goes back to children and families, from orphanages, 22 at one time here in Baltimore. What a mighty task at the time of the great migration to the United States here through Baltimore. And today we have over 80 programs in 200 locations, from Allegheny and Garrett County all the way to Anne Arundel County and Baltimore City and Baltimore County and every place in between. Really, our causes, we really want to help people achieve their independence. We want to help children and families in crisis, our new neighbors in the immigrant community, older Marylanders, and of course, we want to help our adults with intellectual disabilities as well. So here behind me is our Daily Bread. This is the second location of our Daily Bread. The original location really opened right next to the Basilica up on the corner of Cathedral and Franklin Street on June 1st, 1981. That's more than 15,000 uninterrupted days of serving our neighbors who were hungry. What started as a meals program has expanded here to the Fallsway. And ironically, right down the street here on the Fallsway was one of our first orphanages, St. Vincent's Orphan Asylum, right next to the St. Vincent de Paul Church. And here at our Daily Bread, it's really a hub of activity to ensure people have the opportunity to access services. The meal is an invitation, and every day 700 to 800 people come here for the midday meal, and then we hope they journey down the corridor for opportunities, whether it's workforce, whether it's housing, health services, or any other need that a person may have, and they could get it here right now. We're really excited about the next 100 years at Catholic Charities. We just begun a great project over in West Baltimore in the greater Rosemount community, our Intergenerational Engagement Center. Where once stood the Alexander Hamilton School will be a vibrant building, much like here at our Daily Bread, but even more holistic. From programs for pregnant mothers to infant and toddler classrooms for 3 and 4-year-old children, after school programming for older kids, a rec center, and really a community center will be a hub of services for seniors, adults looking for work and health services, and really a place for the community to come together. That'll be opening in the summer of 2025. So as we move forward, we look to the future and look what is needed and what people want. And we see the greatest potential in our community here in Baltimore and throughout the state. And we really love being part of this movement where everybody will have the opportunity to achieve their greatest potential. Thank you, Johns.